He trained for 300 years as a sword saint, preparing for his ascension. He opened his eyes and found himself in a girl's dormitory, wearing a high school uniform. Even stranger, in this world, he seems to be claimed as a possession by a domineering stranger. And his sister has just been kidnapped by the local mob boss. Whoa, triple shock on full display. Who am I? Where am I? What sort of crazy situation is this? A stunningly beautiful woman with crimson hair and golden, fiery eyes is hovering right over you. What's Chu Qing's immediate instinct? Run. Yup, absolute panic mode. He scrambles out of bed faster than you can say awkward. Bro, where's that 3th-century composure? Performs a physics-defying eject sequence on the spot. Our boy bailed, but the beauty Yi Chensi? Chill as ever, lighting a cigarette. Drug war off that quick? Never mind. The ones who are awake are more interesting anyway. Meanwhile, huddled in the corner, Chu Qing's mind is blown. Wait, rebirth. I got reborn. In that instant, 300 years of memories flood back. It wasn't a dream. It was real. He truly was a sword saint standing at the pinnacle of the immortal path. Memory flashback. We jump 300 years to the peak of Qingqing Mountain. The heavens rage with thunder and lightning. That was Chu Qing in his prime. Clad in white, sword aura piercing the clouds, standing atop a glowing Tai Chi array, using peerless sword intent to clash with divine thunder. Talk about ambition. That was the peak of cultivation, the zenith of power. 3 centuries of relentless training, all for the pursuit of eternal enlightenment. At that very moment of ascension, with sword light at its most brilliant, about to tear through the threshold to eternity, disaster strikes. Instead of entering the divine realm, he's plunged into a vortex of time and space. And just like that, a sword saint who dominated the immortal world finds himself mysteriously thrown back into his 17-year-old self on Earth. The gears of fate screech in reverse course. A whole new, topsy-turvy story is about to begin. 1 second, Chu Qing is processing his shocking return to being 17. The next, this strange new world smacks him right in the face. Who is this woman in purple pajamas, radiating an aura of total ownership? Her cigarette scented, teasing invitation makes his skin crawl. The 300-year-old sword saint is completely lost. Something is very, very wrong with this opening scene. Trying to leave? As soon as Chu Qing mutters an excuse, the woman, Yi Chensi, lets out a cold laugh, asking, "When have I ever let go of a pigeon in my hand?" It's not a question, it's a proclamation. In her eyes, Chu Qing is already a bird in her cage. The moment he hesitates, she strikes, with a speed that defies anything he knows about human capability. Yi Chensi's pale hand, in that moment of contact, felt like a ton of steel. A shock runs through Chu Qing. He instantly channels the last wisp of immortal chi left in his body to parry. Boom! The collision of forces erupts in a burst of chaotic blue energy. Chu Qing is stunned, not by her strength, but by how fragile this new body is. It almost buckles under the strain, his energy reserves draining to zero. Now, using the recoil from the energy clash, Chu Qing grits his teeth as he's blasted backward. He hits the floor and doesn't waste a second. His mind screams just one thing: run. He snatches the school uniform that belongs to this life and bolts out the door. The women in this world, they possess such terrifying power? What kind of twisted place is this? Elsewhere, on a dark rooftop late at night, Yi Chensi stands barefoot, lighting a cigarette. The flame reflects in her excited, glowing red eyes. She felt it. That boy, Chu Qing, somehow repelled her momentum with a method she can't comprehend. This is getting interesting. She exhales a slow stream of smoke, whispering to the city lights below, "Chu Qing, my big white rabbit, did you really think you could escape my grasp? The hunt has only just begun." One moment, he was at the peak of his 300 years of cultivation. The next, he slammed back into the body of his 17-year-old self on a bustling street. Chu Qing, the former sword saint, is now just a guy in a bathrobe, running barefoot. The familiar, yet strange sight of the city breaks the dam, and tears stream down his face. 3 centuries of waiting, and he's finally back to see his family. But that wave of emotion lasts about 3 seconds before his mind hits a brick wall. He watches as a red-haired powerhouse comforts her tearful boyfriend, promising to buy him whatever he wants. And the boyfriend just snuggles in happily? "Dear, you're so kind." Dude, talk about a role reversal. The first crack in Chu Qing's understanding of this world appears right here. Utterly shattered, Chu Qing's worldview is in smithereens. Pushed aside by the happy boyfriend, he's left reeling. And then, BM, his brain goes into full system overload. Everywhere he looks, construction workers are women, cops pulling people over are women, cab drivers are women. It's like the entire world's gender button got firmly switched. His golden eyes widen in pure, unadulterated shock. This is not the Earth he remembers. To understand this impossible reality, Chu Qing buries himself in the library's history books. And there it is, the answer. An ancient cataclysm of unimaginable scale reshaped human physiology, making women physically and mentally superior, thus birthing this matriarchal society. The truth hits him like a truck. A terrifying thought takes root. If his own family has been flipped upside down too, he has to go home now. He practically stumbled his way home in a panic. Pushing the door open, he had to blink twice to make sure his eyes weren't playing tricks on him. The house was spotless, floors gleaming, and the person bustling around with a broom was his dad. The former 300-year-old sword saint was hit with a tidal wave of conflicting emotions seeing his father in this traditional homemaker role. Part of him ached with sympathy, but another part was so overwhelmed by the familiar, warm scene that his eyes began to sting. Somehow, a trace of the old world still lived here, in this small way. But that fleeting moment of warmth was shattered instantly by Dad. The moment he registered Chu Qing's late-night return, the parental alarm bells started blaring. He grabbed his son, inspecting him like a seasoned detective. "I thought you were at a friend's. Look at the time." But the real killer move was when he leaned in for a sniff. And that's when the bomb dropped. Perfume. Dad's face fell. You were with a woman? Damn, with detective skills like that, he'd have been a top talent even back in the cultivation world. Dad went full DEFCON 1. He whipped out a newspaper and shoved it right in Chu Qing's face. Look at this headline. A 15-year-old boy tricked and betrayed by a female classmate. His life ruined because the video went viral. His future is over. And he wasn't done. He pulled out the ultimate negative example. Look at your sister, fooling around all day, couldn't even graduate from a third-rate college. Your mom and I have given up on her, but you have to make us proud. Study hard, get into a top university, and don't you dare get fooled by those bad women. This 1-2 punch of family guilt tripping and pressure left Chu Qing reeling. What could Chu Qing do? He had to play along for now. Dad, I get it. Don't worry so much about me. He quickly changed the subject. Where's Mom? Dad sighed. She's out negotiating business. Things haven't been easy lately. Seeing a safe exit, Chu Qing bolted to call his sister for dinner. But when he pushed her bedroom door open, he froze solid. Standing behind the door wasn't his sister, but a strange, blushing, purple-haired girl who could barely form a sentence. Dad peeked in from the hallway, and his eyes nearly popped out of his head. What? The real drama, it seems, is just beginning. Our 300-year-old sword saint brother Chu Qing peeks into his sister's room, only to be met with a peculiar live stream. Forget the immortal realm. This is a whole new level of bewildering. The text flying across the screen. Let's just say it's not exactly family-friendly content. Brother Chu Qing stands frozen in the doorway. His 3 centuries of cultivation no match for this modern culture shock. Sister Xiao is positively glowing with satisfaction. Confronted by her baffled brother, she brushes it off with a wave. Welcome to the age of live streaming, old man from the past. Chu Qing tries to scold her, but gets playfully teased instead. Not for little boys like you. She leaves him standing there, his sword saint dignity thoroughly shattered in this new world's dynamics. At dinner, the real play unfolds. Sister Xiao hits up their dad for $1,000, claiming it's for business networking with friends. The rose and starry background effects? Yeah, totally normal business vibes. Dad's not buying it. Just moments after being torn down by his father, Mother arrives home. But what Chu Qing sees is a sight that turns his stomach. His once formidable father looks weary and defeated. And his mother? She's the one who strides in with all the confidence, sweeping him into a hug. It's a scene meant to be heartwarming, seen through the lens of this new world. But for Chu Qing, a man from an era where the roles were reversed, it's a perversion. It's a slap in the face of everything he knew. He can't stand it for another second, turning on his heel to retreat before the disgust churns inside him any longer. He slams the door behind him, craving any semblance of peace. But the show's not over. A moment later, his mother enters his sanctuary. Without a word, she slaps a thick wad of cash into his hand. Take it. Buy whatever you want. Don't be like your useless sister. The future of this family rests on your shoulders now. Chu Qing stares at the money, a fortune handed to him with ease. He glances past his mother to where his father stands, looking content and reliant by her side. A surge of pure revulsion shoots through him. Is this the fate of a man in this twisted world? To be nothing but a pet, living on the whims and allowances of the women in charge? His 300-year-old soul, once unshakable, feels only a chilling emptiness and a gaping sense of uncertainty for what lies ahead. The sword-sharp instincts of his past life are still screaming, yet this world's rules feel like a soft, tightening cage. And just as he's reeling, the last invitation he expected comes knocking. It's a representative from Yi Chenxi's side, all flirtatious provocation and thinly veiled interest, cooing for him to join the party. Chu Qing's gaze turns to ice as he stares down the offered hand. A single brutal thought echoes in his mind. Not you too. No one here gets to tell me how this game is played. This world is upside down, and he hasn't figured out his next move. But that doesn't mean he'll roll over for anyone. Back in the living room, the grand performance continues. Chu Qing's mother, the newly minted CEO of this household, is literally embracing her petite and delicate husband from behind. "What's gotten into you?" she asks, all full concern. "Are you upset because your allowance isn't enough?" And as if by magic, a thick stack of crisp bills appears in her hand. Back in his old life, Chu Qing had to scheme and plead just to get $10 for the internet cafe. Now, stacks get thrown at him for sulking. But he doesn't see money. He sees the most insidious shackle this world has to offer, a cage gilded with affection and generosity, the hardest kind to break. At the dinner table, the rules of this twisted world hit Chu Qing once again. Here, money and authority are unquestionably held by women. His mother casually hands him a thick wad of pocket money, expresses only disappointment towards his troublesome sister, and pins all her hope for status through her son on him, the male heir. Meanwhile, his father, the man who should be the pillar of the family, hovers nearby in an apron, meekly agreeing with his wife. "My dear wife is right." Watching this bizarre scene of conjugal bliss and feeling the weight of the cash earned simply by being male, Chu Qing feels only disgust. Is this what his future holds? Becoming an ornament, dependent on a woman? The 300-year sword saint legacy within him leaves nothing but revulsion for this reality and a profound sense of uncertainty about the path ahead. Every second in this place is torture. Chu Qing icily mutters, "I'm going to my room," and flees the sickening display of affection in the living room without a backward glance. He just needs space to breathe. But a deeper shock awaits him as he pushes open his bedroom door. Pink wallpaper, stuffed toys, lace trimmings. This isn't a sword saint's abode. It's a girl's boudoir. He stands frozen in the doorway, utterly dumbfounded by the overwhelmingly feminine decor of his supposed male room. The pervasive weirdness of this world knows no bounds. The discomfort of the room still lingers when Chu Qing absent-mindedly pulls open a desk drawer. The next moment, his eyes widen in shock. The drawer, no, the entire desk, is stuffed to the brim, overflowing with colorful envelopes. Love letters. Piles and piles of them, spilling out in a cascade. In this matriarchal world, thanks to male privilege and his allegedly stunning looks, he's become the school's heartthrob, pursued by countless girls. This sudden popularity only fills him with absurdity and acute embarrassment. Relying on his face? It feels like the ultimate insult to his 3 centuries of arduous cultivation. To hell with being a heartthrob. To hell with this upside-down world. Staring at the sea of love letters, Chu Qing's expression turns icy cold. The shock and embarrassment of a moment ago are instantly crushed by the steely resolve of a 300-year-old cultivator. He drops to the floor with a thud, not in despair, but with absolute determination. Love letters, admiration, all just noise from this twisted world. He has only one goal: cultivate, regain his power, and then leave this place for good. He closes his eyes, focusing inward, attempting to sense the spiritual energy of this world. And the moment he does, his heart jolts. The aura here, it's incredibly rich and pure, far surpassing his original cultivation world. In the darkness of despair, a sliver of brilliant hope finally tears through. Once ignited, the spark of hope blazes into a wildfire. Clarity floods Chu Qing's mind. With this pure, abundant spiritual energy, he can not only regain all his former power, but potentially reach even greater heights, unlock the legendary Hall of Time and Space, and find his way home. He must escape this bizarre, inverted world as soon as possible, immediately. He circulates his core cultivation technique, golden freedom, Ji Dao, and a faint blue aura of spiritual light begins to swirl around him. As he delves deeper, his senses sharpen to an unprecedented degree. The secrets hidden in this world, the watchful eyes upon him. Like that mysterious Yi Chenxi, the trouble his sister is entangled in. All the clues begin to take shape within his heightened awareness. No longer a passive, confused adapter. This time, Sword Saint Chu Qing is taking the initiative to break the game. Late at night, the awareness of a 300-year-old sword saint is back, yet trapped in this 17-year-old body. In the room, Chu Qing sits cross-legged, attempting to awaken the dormant dragon essence within him. The sound of rain taps against the window, and for a fleeting moment, a thought crosses his mind. In this topsy-turvy world ruled by women, a lady staying out late isn't that strange at all. But the very next second, a shrill ringtone shatters the momentary calm. It's his sister, Chu Xiao, calling. The sound that greets him isn't a warm greeting, but a frantic, blood-curdling scream. Xiao Qing. That single cry evaporates every ounce of his composure. His pupils contract sharply. All the alarms in his mind blare at once. Something's gone terribly wrong. His reckless sister is in deep trouble. The threat in the blue-haired woman's voice brooks no argument. She seems to relish the oppressive silence on Chu Qing's end. Hanging up the phone, the cold light of the screen illuminates his face. He squeezes the phone so hard his knuckles turn white. The panic of a 17-year-old boy vanishes from his eyes, instantly replaced by the piercing, frost-cold resolve unique to a sword saint who once dominated an era 300 years ago. Slowly, word by word, he vows into the empty room, "I will not let anyone mess with my family. Ever. Not a second wasted." Chu Qing yanks open a drawer, swiftly changing into a practical set of dark clothing. He rushes to the bed, reaching underneath and pulling out the heavy black bag, the very source of his sister's catastrophic troubles. He doesn't even have time to wonder what's inside, nor to comfort his terrified father. In this moment, the topsy-turvy society, his past life, it all falls away. All he knows is that someone has dared to use his family as a bargaining chip. Crescendo Bar. Room 302. A dangerous glint flashes in Chu Qing's eyes. He pushes the door open, and his silhouette dissolves instantly into the cold, wet night. The street is deserted, lit only by the dim, rain-slicked reflections of streetlights on the asphalt. Chu Qing tears through the empty roads, the downpour soaking his hair and clothes, but doing nothing to quell the inferno raging in his chest. His pace is unnatural, no longer the sprint of an ordinary teenager. Physical instincts, dormant for centuries, begin to rouse in response to his fury. The 300 years of cultivation, the primordial dragon's strength capable of shaking mountains and rivers, it stirs restlessly within this young vessel. His focus is singular: the bar, the room, and every single person who dared lay a hand on what is most precious to him. "Hold on, sis. I'm coming." The night is shattered by a call. A chilling female voice gives Chu Qing an ultimatum. His sister for the black bag under his bed at the dragon's den called Crescendo. Hanging up, the cold fury of a past sword saint ignites in his eyes. Laying a hand on his family? He'll have to face his wrath. A moment later, the door slams shut, leaving only the echo of his resolve. Arrival. The neon of Crescendo Bar pulses ominously. Without a second's hesitation, Chu Qing slams the black bag onto the front desk, his sister for the package. But the one in control, the blue-haired Yi Chenxi, lounges on a red couch like a coiled viper. Her gaze rakes over the courier, a predatory smile curling her lips. Her first words are pure provocation. "Listen, kid, your face is way cuter than in photos." Yi Chenxi moves in close, trying to dominate with sheer presence. But 300 years of cultivation is no joke. A simple, not important dismisses her outright. "Oomph." Enraged, she turns and unzips the bag. The next moment, the entire situation flips. The bag doesn't contain some trinket, but stacks and stacks of crisp US dollars. The air in the room freezes. The brunette woman, in particular, shrieks in disbelief. "What? How did that money get there?" Trouble. Chu Xiao had no idea there was money inside. She was just holding the bag for a friend. Now she's branded a thief in the eyes of the furious Yi Chenxi. Her proclamation, "I've had it with you guys," drips with venomous contempt. Yet, shockingly, she barks the order, "Get out, before I change my mind." The sister is released. At this moment of reunion, grief and relief overwhelm Chu Xiao. She tearfully thanks her brother, pulling his hand desperately towards the exit. But does anyone really think this is over? As expected, a powerful hand shoots out, clamping down on Chu Qing's wrist with unyielding strength. Yi Chenxi wears the triumphant grin of a hunter. She casually declares the new terms. "You can go." But he stays. The relief vanishes from Chu Xiao's face in an instant. The underlings snicker in the background, like wolves circling fresh prey. Do they think they could just walk away? This woman, Yi Chenxi, never intended to let anyone leave that easily. The real danger has only just begun. Chu Qing strides in alone and slams the cash-filled bag on the nightclub table. The money. Now, let her go. He sounds unnervingly calm, like he's giving an order, but he has no idea this bag isn't a ticket out. It's a lit fuse. The club queen, Yi Chenxi, personally inspects the goods. The moment her blue eyes land on those stacks of cash, the chill in her gaze ignites into fury. My missing money in your sister's hands? It's a massive misunderstanding. In her eyes, Chu Xiao just went from a debtor to a thief. But her gaze shifts to Chu Qing, intrigued by his audacity to come here alone. I'll let your sister go if you stay. Just like that, the target of the crisis completely shifts. Now, Chu Qing is the one in real danger. His sister, Chu Xiao, snaps. She'd rather throw herself back into the fire than let her precious brother get caught. I'll stay. Please, just let my brother go. Her voice trembles. But Chu Qing pushes her hand away, his eyes holding no fear, only an unshakable resolution. Do you think I have no morals? This isn't a question of fear, it's a declaration of war. You want to take my sister? You'll have to get through me first. Yi Chenxi's thug laughs. A brat dares to fight back? He moves in, but in the next instant, the sneer freezes on his face. Chu Qing moves. A flicker, too fast for the eye to follow. The thug who tried to grab him doesn't even see the punch coming before he's launched like a cannonball, crashing to the floor and spitting blood. A dead silence falls over the room. Everyone is stunned. What kind of monstrous speed is that? That was just the warm-up. More goons rush in, only to become part of a one-sided beatdown exhibition. Crushing punches, whipping kicks, Chu Qing moves with flowing grace. 300 years of combat instinct combined with a sliver of recovered spiritual power makes this fight against street thugs child's play. Each strike carries thunderous force, blasting them away, deflecting them, shattering their offense in moments. The Xiaojiangbong members are now a groaning mess scattered across the floor. Sitting on her couch, Yi Chenxi watches this teenager move like a war god under the neon lights. Her eyes completely shift. This isn't prey. This is an unexpected treasure trove. Just when you thought it was over and they could walk away clean, chaos erupts again. A gun barrel is shoved right into Chu Qing's face. That blue-haired goon is screaming. Begging won't save them. Both siblings are staying right here. Think you can outrun a bullet? This rescue mission is one trigger pull away from becoming crime scene. But who is Chu Qing? A 300-year-old sword saint in a past life. He's seen all. His gaze is unnervingly calm. If that's how you want to play, fine. Before he even finishes speaking, creak. The iron bars beside them swing open on their own, pulsing with an eerie purple light. Then, from the shadows, emerges a mysterious woman in a scarlet chong sam, a cigarette dangling from her lips. She surveys the scene before her and chuckles. Huh, what an entertaining view. Her aura instantly freezes the entire scene. Just who is this woman? The mystery woman is revealed. This queen with an 8-foot aura and violet hair is none other than the enigmatic eldest daughter of the Yi family, Yi Chenxi. She takes a drag from her cigarette and casually remarks, "How come no one invited me to such an interesting party?" The subtext is clear. The moment Chu Qing stepped into this place, everything fell under her watchful eye. She didn't just stumble upon this scene. She's been the director of this entire show from the start. And now it's her showtime. Chu Qing stares at this woman who keeps haunting him, thinking, her again? Missy, on the other hand, asks with a sweet smile, "Chu Qing, what are you doing here?" The way she phrases it makes it sound like she owns the place. Chu Qing's heart might be pounding, but he can't show weakness. He fires right back. Haha, so this place is yours? The tension crackling between them is so thick you could cut it with a knife. That blue-haired thug who was just waving a gun in Chu Qing's face? He's utterly silent before Yi Chenxi. The young mistress doesn't even grace him with a direct glance, merely giving a dismissive wave of her hand. What happens next? We don't see it directly, but let's be real. Pointing a gun at someone she's interested in, that's a one-way ticket to a world of pain. Cold and efficient. That's how Yi Chenxi deals with trash. Then she turns to Chu Qing, her icy demeanor melting into something warmer. She gestures towards the handle goon and says, "Consider this my gift to you." A gift? Seriously? Talk about a unique welcome present. With this move, Missy has made one thing crystal clear. Chu Qing, you are now squarely on my radar. Just when the blue-haired woman thought she had Chu Qing in her pocket, the real kingpin arrived. A figure in a red Chong Sam appeared, not even bothering with words before having her men pin the insolent fool to the ground. The formerly arrogant gang leader was now reduced to begging on her knees. Yi Chenxi's method of handling the situation sent a collective chill through the room. After coldly dispensing with the underling, Yi Chenxi turned and put on a completely different face. Her smile at Chu Qing was ambiguous and dangerous, as if the earlier brutality was just a little surprise gift she'd casually prepared for him. Of course, Chu Qing wasn't having any of it. But the more he resisted, the more intense the interest in Yi Chenxi's eyes grew. She'd finally found a man who dared to stand up to her. Yikes, this young miss went straight for the jugular, publicly announcing she wanted Chu Qing to be her 36th boyfriend. Chu Qing pushed her hand away on the spot, a sharp retort stunning the entire room. Yi Chenxi, utterly unaccustomed to such disrespect, snapped back, mocking him as a weakling man. With each verbal jab, the tension skyrocketed until a challenge was thrown down. The stage was set for a showdown. The wager? An arm wrestling match. If Chu Qing won, Yi Chenxi would back off forever. If she won, he'd have to become her boyfriend. Everyone around them was laughing at Chu Qing's audacity. In this matriarchal world, a man's strength was a joke. But Chu Qing merely offered a faint smile and asked her if she was scared. The final showdown begins. Surrounded by contemptuous gazes and jeers of men weak as water, women strong as iron, Chu Qing took his seat. Yi Chenxi unleashed terrifying force from the start, nearly crushing him instantly. Chu Qing's heart jolted. He finally understood the rules of this world. But the next second, a cold smile touched his lips. "I'ma teach you all what the power of a cultivator truly means." Yi Chenxi makes a public announcement. She wants Chu Qing to become her 36th boyfriend. What? Is she collecting them? Chu Qing is having none of it and shoots back. This verbal sparring match ends with a brutally simple solution from Yi Chenxi: arm wrestling. If she wins, he's hers. If he wins, she disappears. The entire bar is in an uproar, thinking this kid is done for daring to challenge her like this. The contest begins. Yi Chenxi comes out with absolute, overwhelming force, her sheer strength almost bending Chu Qing's arm. He's utterly shocked. Is this the true power level of this world? But surrender is not an option. The experience of a 300-year-old sword saint isn't for show. Spiritual energy boils within his veins, and an aura of immense pressure starts to erupt from his seemingly frail body. Non-core scene, used for atmosphere/transition. Yi Chenxi's subordinates are ready for anything, unaware that their boss's plans are about to be utterly shattered. He wins. With a decisive slam, Chu Qing pins Yi Chenxi's hand to the table. Clean and absolute. The entire bar goes silent, then explodes into chaos. Everyone loses their minds. A man actually overpowered the Yi family's young mistress in a contest of pure strength? How is that possible? Chu Qing stands tall, looking down as he casually reminds her, "Miss Yi, don't forget our bet." Then, he grabs his stunned sister and walks away, leaving behind a bar full of shattered worldviews. A subordinate tries to give chase, only to be slapped away by a furious, humiliated Yi Chenxi. "Shut up. I haven't lost to him yet." She holds her face, eyes burning with resentment, shame, and a far more dangerous, twisted obsession. Today, this man humiliated her in front of everyone. But for her, this isn't the end. It's only made her more determined. The more you resist, Chu Qing, the less you'll get away. The entire bar fell silent. The only sounds were the stunned breaths of the crowd and the shattering of expectations. A weaker male had just used brutal efficiency to shatter the collective worldview of this matriarchal society. Chu Qing just stood there, his gaze sweeping over the speechless onlookers before landing on the livid face of Yi Chenxi. He raised a hand, casually indicating the debt was settled. That calm confidence cut deeper than any victory speech. As their target walked away, Yi Chenxi's subordinates instinctively moved to pursue, only to be frozen in their tracks by a single, venomous glare from their own boss. She stared at Chu Qing's retreating back, her frustration so palpable it felt like heat radiating from her. Running away? Fine. This hunt just got infinitely more interesting. Watching the figure disappear through the door, the frustration on Yi Chenxi's face slowly twisted into something darker, a near-manic appreciation. "Run? Do you think you can really escape?" she murmured to herself, her eyes gleaming with the light of someone who discovered a priceless artifact. "A man like this is exactly my type. I won't let you slip away this time." Meanwhile, the walk home was anything but romantic. Chu Qing remained silent until a street corner, where he stopped dead, his gaze as cold as ice. He looked at his sister, Chu Xiao, who was trying to feign innocence, and cut straight to the point with a flat tone that was more terrifying than any yell. "We're telling our parents. No discussion. Chu Xiao erupted, thinking she could use the embarrassment as leverage. Big mistake. In the next moment, Chu Qing leveled a gaze at her that wasn't just anger. It was the crushing aura of a 300-year-old sword saint. Squeak one more word, and I will personally toss you back to that bar. Watching his sister shrink into terrified silence, he took a deep breath. Depending on others? No. In this twisted world, the only thing he could truly rely on were his own hands, now reforged by dragon blood and an immortal soul. Back home, Chu Qing found no peace. The chatterbox of a virtual big sister was worse than any ancient demon he'd faced in his past life, constantly bombarding him with unspeakable harassment. The twisted rules of this reversed world, the trouble his actual sister dragged in, those lingering, unsettling gazes, it all roared inside his head. Enough. A former sword saint couldn't be troubled by mere external distractions. He sat cross-legged, focusing his energy into his core. The irritability receded like a tide. In its place, a tranquil mind and a will far more resolute emerged. No matter what, he would navigate this world. Putting all irrelevant thoughts aside, he burst out the doors so fast he left an afterimage in his wake. But under the morning light outside the school, someone was already waiting. His friend Lin Dong spotted him from afar, a subtle, unreadable gentleness in his eyes. Did Chu Qing think he could just run away? His speed might impress ordinary folks, but to a keen observer, it was just a clear, visible target. See? Trouble was indeed coming. A certain powerful associate had already laid down the law. We don't work that way. Who was that message for? A warning to the forces behind Chu Qing, or another show of force for this unpolished newcomer. The rules of the game in this world were far more intricate than schoolyard politics. The next morning at school, Lin Dong confronted him the moment he walked in, concern practically radiating. What were you doing last time? Why didn't you answer my calls? His gentleness was almost overwhelming. But Chu Qing's mind was weighed down by the burden of two worlds, his sister, the debt, the conspiracies, a distant past life. He violently shook off Lin Dong's hand, the force making his friend stagger back. Friends? He had no energy left for such fragile schoolyard bonds right now. He found a seat in the farthest corner. Around him, the seemingly normal school life unfolded. Girls roughhousing in the hallways, boys quietly studying. But every detail was a needle to Chu Qing's senses. The reversed gender norms a constant, painful reminder that this wasn't his world. The vibrancy belonged to others. The loneliness was etched into his very soul. Hunched over his desk, his silhouette stood starkly apart in the bustling classroom. A silent, desperate thought clawed at the last of his composure. I can't stay in this world anymore. The former sword saint, now utterly adrift, was consumed by a desolation as vast as the void between worlds. Chu Qing thought he could blend in at his new school. The class president, the gentle girl with purple hair, noticed he hadn't eaten breakfast and offered to share her food. Just a little kindness in this upside-down world. You can see him getting all flustered in that cute, chibi version of himself. Peaceful? Yeah, right. In this world, tranquility is just the prelude to chaos. And just like that, the battlefield is set. Another girl, a zealous admirer, barrels right into Chu Qing, hugging him and professing her love without a care for the class president watching. That's all it took to ignite World War III. The purple-haired president morphs into a lioness, shoving the girl away with a furious back off, sending her crashing into desks. The classroom is in shambles. And our man Chu Qing, he stands at the storm's eye, an aura of pure furious radiating from him. 300 years of cultivation, just to deal with this high school drama? The feud escalates. The defeated brunette, outmatched by the class president, turns her fury on Chu Qing. A glowing fist flies toward his face as she screams, "You're just a man." Little did she know, she was attacking a beast. But before the punch lands, a white blur intercepts it. A firm hand catches her fist midair, accompanied by a sharp stop. It's Yi Mao, the younger brother of the formidable Yi Chenxi. The brunette is utterly stunned. "Yi Mao, what are you doing here?" "Welp, she just picked a fight with the wrong family." With Yi Mao here, the fight is over. The brunette panics, shouts a final threat about his sister Yi Chenxi, and bolts like her life depends on it. Chaos averted for now. But Yi Mao's attention is now squarely on Chu Qing. "Chu Qing," he says, his expression serious. "There's something we need to talk about. Do you have a minute?" Here we go again. The Yi family is just lining up. Looks like a rooftop peace talk is next on the agenda. On the rooftop, Yi Mao's first words aren't a threat, but an apology. He expresses regret for his sister's overbearing actions yesterday. He even seems genuinely contrite, admitting he tried to help earlier but couldn't find him. As a gesture of goodwill, He offers his sister as a chauffeur to drive Chu Qing home. A member of the Yi family as your personal driver? Be careful what you wish for, because as they approach that sleek white sports car, a familiar, ominous figure is already waiting. Yi Mao's sister, offering both an apology and a ride, handed Chu Qing a drink as they drove home. But the fleeting peace felt eerily fragile, a lull before the inevitable storm on the horizon. Danger was never far. Just as Chu Qing caught his breath, a silver car materialized at the school gate under the twilight glow. The window rolled down, revealing none other than Yi Chenxi, her command ringing out like a death knell. Again, Chu Qing wanted to scream, but Yi Chenxi's chilling smirk, her veiled threat urging him to think of his family, instantly steeled his gaze. Family? His absolute line in the sand in this new life. Fine. He'd play her game, for now, to see her true cards. But the moment he slid into the passenger seat, the predator and prey roles were instantly reversed. A cold, terrifying smile touched Chu Qing's lips. The overwhelming pressure of a 300-year-old sword saint seeped out, crushing the space between them. Your biggest mistake is touching my family, he warned, sounding nothing like a 17-year-old student. Yi Chenxi tried to backtrack, claiming it wasn't a real threat. Too late. Chu Qing wasn't interested in her excuses. He unleashed a surge of arcane power from his palm. A sharp crack ripped through the air, shattering all pretense. He loomed closer, each word a weighty promise. Threaten me, he commanded, and you face every consequence. For the first time, the domineering Yi heiress felt the cold grip of primal fear before his absolute might. Inside the car, the air turns frigid. Yi Chenxi thought she held the power, but when Chu Qing looked at her, his eyes weren't those of a 17-year-old student. They held the cold, razor-sharp edge of a 300-year-old sword saint. His voice, chillingly calm, delivered a warning Yi Chenxi never expected to hear from a man. Stay away from his family. This wasn't a plea. It was a declaration. To her surprise, the young Miss Yi, she just smiled. She said she wasn't here to make threats, but to offer help. A fresh, dangerous game has just been proposed. Help. Chu Qing wasn't buying it. Sure enough, Yi Chenxi dropped a bombshell. Do you practice ancient martial arts? A direct strike at the heart of the mystery. She'd investigated him and his family, yet his source of power remained an enigma, not matching any known ancient martial arts lore. The question was a perfect shot at his greatest secret, his celestial cultivation. Despite the jolt he felt inside, Chu Qing's face remained a mask of indifference as he flatly denied it. But that tiny, almost imperceptible moment of hesitation, the shrewd Miss, he didn't miss it. She knew she'd hit a nerve. In the midst of this tense standoff of wills, fate intervenes. A sudden, sharp screech of tires cuts through the air. Look out! A vehicle, careening wildly, slams into them from the side with the force of a cannonball. An accident? No. This was a meticulously planned assassination attempt. Chu Qing's eyes narrow, survival instincts overriding all conscious thought. In a split second before impact, instinct dictates his choice. Boom! The world dissolves into fire, shrapnel, and shattered glass. The games and tests are gone, replaced by the raw, primal edge between life and death. Without a second thought, Chu Qing doesn't shield himself. He throws himself over Yi Chenxi, using his body as a living barrier against the deadly force. Shit! His back and arms absorb the brunt of the impact. Glass tears into his skin, the shockwave drawing a pained grunt. Yi Chenxi, pinned beneath him, looks up and sees him. He's hurt, bleeding for her. His blood is dripping on her face. Smoke billows from the burning wreckage. Gritting his teeth against his own pain, Chu Qing hoists the injured Yi Chenxi onto his back. You're badly hurt. We need to get to a hospital. He ignores his own wounds, focused only on escape from this death trap where a second strike could come at any moment. But a weak, yet iron-willed voice from behind his shoulder cuts through his urgency. No, it's not over yet. Yi Chenxi's gaze locks onto the chaotic darkness beyond. For her, this was no accident. It was the opening salvo of war. And Chu Qing, the man who wanted only to stay out of it, has now been thrown headfirst into the eye of the coming storm. The car's wrecked, but guess what? The trouble's just getting started. Shadowy figures emerge from the smoke, armed and closing in. Chu Qing and Yi Chenxi are both hurt, trapped with nowhere to run. Seeing Chu Qing hurt sends Yi Chenxi into a rage. She snarls a challenge, her protective fury overriding the pain. Who needs a health bar when you have pure, unadulterated possessiveness? She's ready to level this whole place. These goons made a critical error, underestimating the guy with 300 years of swordsmanship in his soul. Chu Qing's got that I've seen worse. Look, knocked out? More like re-educated with extreme prejudice. This isn't a fight, it's a demonstration. And that's how it's done. A combined assault that clears the board. A satisfying crunch of bones and crackle of energy. As the dust settles, they stand back to back, a brutal but effective team. And get this, Yi Chinzi actually smiles and gives him a compliment. Talk about character development. Just as they catch their breath, the phone rings. One call, and all the color drains from Yi Chinzi's face. Her mother attacked at home, critically wounded. Mother and daughter hit at the same time? This isn't bad luck. It's a calculated purge. Chu Qing pieces it together instantly. This is a bloody coup within the Yi family itself. The dust settles on their brutal dance, and for a moment, there's a flicker of mutual respect. But that fragile peace shatters with a single ring. Yi Chenzi answers the call, and the icy composure she's worn like armor cracks right before our eyes. Her mother, the powerful head of the Yi family, has been attacked at the same time. In this matriarchal world, her mother's death isn't just a personal tragedy, it's her political obituary. And in her panic, she reaches for the only anchor she has left, begging Chu Qing not to leave. The plea is raw, desperate, the sound of a queen who knows her throne is crumbling. But Chu Qing isn't just some shaken high schooler. 300 years of worldly experience lets him see the chessboard. A simultaneous, coordinated strike on mother and daughter? That's not bad luck. It's a declaration of war in Jimin's underworld. As Yi Chinzi clutches his arm, pouring out the grim reality of her family's power struggle, he doesn't shrug her off. He turns back, his gaze shifting from distant to laser-focused. You and your mother were targeted together. This is no coincidence. It's a cold, hard analysis that cuts through her hysteria. He knows exactly what stepping into this means, and he's stepping in anyway. And here it is, the turning point. As Yi Chinzi crumbles, whispering her fears of being cast out by her ambitious aunt, Chu Qing's response isn't more logic. It's humanity. Hey, don't cry. I'll go with you. Not a grand oath, but a quiet, solid promise. His hand on her arm is an anchor. In a world built for women to rule, this young man chooses to walk into the viper's nest of a crumbling matriarchal dynasty. The confusion on Yi Chinzi's face says it all. Against all reason, against everything this world taught her, she finds herself trusting the words of this impossible boy. Under the cloak of night, the imposing Yi family manor stands guard. The grand entrance isn't just an arrival, it's a return to a battlefield. The butler's formal greeting, "My lady, you've finally arrived," rings out, a signal that the game is on. Yi Chinzi has recloaked herself in icy composure, the vulnerable girl left outside the gate. And beside her, the catalyst, Chu Qing, blood still on his clothes, an uninvited guest in this world of female power. As he crosses this threshold, his journey shifts. No longer just surviving this reversed world, he's stepping onto the chessboard that controls it. The game for the soul of Jinmin has a new, unpredictable player. Outside the Yi family mansion, storm clouds gather. Yi Chinzi learns that her aunt, Yi Mei, has seized control and barred all outsiders. The family's internal traitor has finally shown themselves. When Chu Qing asks what's happening, a cold determination flashes in Yi Chinzi's eyes. Screw the rules. She's going in, and she's taking him with her. As expected, the guards immediately block Chu Qing. A man entering the Yi household? Yi Chinzi's fury ignites on the spot. But before she can explode, Chu Qing steps forward, coolly claiming he's a doctor here for consultation. With 300 years of immortal world medical knowledge in his back pocket, he casually diagnoses the guards' hidden ailments, leaving them scrambling to let him pass. Knowledge is power, folks. The guards are completely outplayed, sweating bullets and deferentially ushering Chu Qing inside. Even Yi Chinzi is impressed. This is what you call a crushing display of skill. With just a few words, the obstacle is cleared, and together they step into the lion's den. They've barely stepped inside before running into the mastermind herself. Yi Mei, flanked by her smug daughter Yi Meyer, blocks their path. Putting on a facade of familial authority, she chastises Yi Chinzi for her rudeness. Then, she goes for the jugular. Men are forbidden from entering the Yi family. Yi Chinzi fires back, declaring Chu Qing her invited doctor. The air freezes over with tension, and Yi Meyer's sinister grin promises trouble is brewing. Watching Yi Chinzi defend a man so fiercely, Yi Mei's fake smile widens. A doctor? He looks more like a pretty boy I didn't bring home the other day. The veiled insult ignites Yi Chinzi's temper. To settle the matter, Yi Meyer steps forward, proposing a test to prove Chu Qing's worth. A test? More like a trap. Chu Qing observes the standoff, his gaze calm as still water. The feast at Hongmen has begun. Screw the family rules. Yi Chinsi marches right into the Yi estate with Chu Qing in tow, and her aunt, Yi Mei, immediately blocks the way, citing the no men allowed policy. But Chinsi's not backing down, declaring he's a doctor she brought in. Her cousin, Yi Meyer, steps in, proposing to test the so-called doctor. This isn't a welcome, it's a trap. Yi Meyer gets right in Chu Qing's face, her tone dripping with provocation. Hey handsome, if I win, you're spending the night with me. Yi Qing ki aplodis, kalink her pide posteros. But Chu Qing's eyes sharpen. He sees the game now. All right then, he replies coldly, bring it on. Trying to seduce me mid-fight? Pathetic. Yi Meyer launches a flashy kick, but Chu Qing doesn't even flinch. He snatches her leg and sends her flying backward, a spray of blood in her wake. The whole room freezes. He walks over slowly, a predator's intensity in his eyes. So, he asks, still want to make love? A chorus of outrage erupts from the female spectators, but Yi Chinsi cuts through it. She provoked him first. Chu Qing lowers his hand, his voice icy. Get your daughter to a hospital. Even as a doctor, I can't guarantee she hasn't sustained internal injuries. Yi Mei trembles with rage over her daughter's battered form, spitting curses. But the tension shatters as a sophisticated, bespectacled woman appears, the aunt, delivering devastating news. Chinsi, your mother's condition has worsened. All thoughts of vengeance vanish as Chinsi's focus snaps to the new threat. The real battle is just beginning. Yi Chinsi rushes to her mother's chambers only to find herself facing her worst nightmare. The doctors are grim. Matriarch Yi Qingmei is comatose with severe internal injuries. When she spots Chu Qing beside her aunt, her defenses shoot up instantly. Who is he? The aunt grips her shoulder firmly, cutting through the panic. Calm down. He's my guest, a doctor, and perhaps the only one who can help your mother now. Trust him. Trust me. Chu Qing looks past them, his gaze sharpening. He can sense it now, an alien, malevolent energy clinging to the formidable woman on the sickbed. This is war on a whole different level. Yi Chinsi brings a man home for the first time, and that man is Chu Qing. When her mother awakens from her coma, her first question isn't about her daughter's well-being, but a sharp, suspicious glance at the unfamiliar man by the bed. Who is he? The 300-year-old cultivator Chu Qing stands in the opulent bedroom of this matriarchal world's elite family. Outwardly calm as he claims to be a doctor summoned by the daughter, while internally sighing at this world's skewed norms. Despite her weakness, the mother's inherent dominance and need for control are undiminished. A dismissive, it's fine, I'm okay is meant to send this unknown man away, and she demands her daughter stay for a private talk. The tense atmosphere screams that a storm is brewing. All right, buckle up because the serious plot just got hijacked. This page breaks the fourth wall completely, launching into official hype and recruitment announcements. A blonde side character enthusiastically points this way, while Chu Qing follows with a look that says, I know the drill. And the tone shifts wildly. We get your long-awaited moment, suckers to those who read this LOL, pure fan service and official memes. Reed-haired girl complains about spam ads. Dark-haired powerhouse smothers a typesetting god, all while screaming, join our Discord. The final panel is the coup de grace. NSS is looking for translators. The more you enjoy, the more motivated we'll be. Chu Qing, probably. Excuse me? I'm busy saving the world and adapting to new societal rules here. Can the production team please stay on track? Cut back to the main story, and Yi Chinsi is going all in at her mother's bedside. Clutching her mother's arm, she passionately defends Chu Qing. Mom, let him check you. He's amazing. If it wasn't for him, I would have been in danger too. Her words send a shockwave through the room. The dark-haired man beside her, who has been quiet, instantly darkens, his gaze sharpening with a hint of jealousy. Am I hearing it right? It's the first time you've complimented a man. Is he that different from the others? At the center of the storm, Chu Qing ignores the undercurrents and switches to full professional mode. Addressing the seemingly frail Mother Yi, he delivers a precise diagnosis. Ma'am, if I'm correct, you were attacked by malevolent energy on the left side of your back. You're now using a large amount of your own energy to stop it from spreading, right? With one sentence, he exposes the secret behind the Yi family head's critical condition. Mother Yi drops a bombshell that silences the room. Please leave. I want to talk to him alone. She personally ushers her protesting daughter, Yi Chinsi, towards the door. The atmosphere freezes. The door shuts with a firm click, isolating the two inside. Now it's just the two of them. Yi Qingmei, the head of the Yi family, propped up in bed, and Chu Qing, standing before her, unsure of what's coming. Yi Qingmei's gaze is sharp as a blade, slicing through Chu Qing as she fires her question. Tell me, did the Lee family send you? What intention do you have for Chensi? Boom. She's directly connecting him to the power struggles of the elite clans. Faced with this blunt interrogation, Chu Qing can only lower his head and offer the simplest, most honest truth. I'm sorry, but I'm not from the Lee family. Will Yi Qing may buy it? A young man with severe, sinister-looking bruises on his back seeks out Chu Qing. Chu Qing examines him, and his face tightens. It's bad. This was no ordinary attack. A hidden, destructive force is ravaging the man's insides, threatening to obliterate his organs in days. The man asks if anything can be done. Without hesitation, Chu Qing steps forward, a faint, otherworldly glow already gathering at his fingertips. The 300-year-old immortal's methods are about to face a real test. Chu Qing goes full throttle. His hands press against Yi Qingmei's wounds, arcs of crackling, silver energy erupting around them both. This isn't healing. It's a desperate tug-of-war against a parasitic, lethal force. He can feel its malevolent power coil and thrash inside her, a beast ready to lash out if pushed too hard. Gritting his teeth, sweating profusely, he forces his concentration to the limit, meticulously drawing the energy out in careful, agonizingly slow increments. And Yi Qingmei? She's caught in a storm of excruciating pain and a bizarre, overwhelming sensation that leaves her trembling and breathless. It's a brutal race to see who breaks first. With the crisis averted, the mood shifts completely. Yi Qingmei, moments ago at death's door, is now propped up comfortably, a sly smile playing on her lips as she looks at Chu Qing. She asks how she can possibly thank him, her tone and gaze anything but innocent. Chu Qing, sensing the trap, quickly deflects, insisting it was just a favor for a friend. Yi Chensi. At this, Yi Qingmei laughs, the sound light, but loaded with implication as she repeats the word, friend, right? Now Chu Qing is officially confused. That didn't feel like a denial. It sounded like he just stepped into something far more complicated. Just after the draining, high-stakes energy battle, something utterly bizarre happens. A hulking, bare-chested man materializes out of nowhere, blocking Chu Qing's path. He's got blood spatter on his face and a terrifyingly calm expression. He leans in, staring down at the bewildered Chu Qing, and asks the most surreal question imaginable. Would you join our Discord now, little bitch? Chu Qing's brain short-circuits for a second. He just wrestled with a supernatural curse, and now he's being recruitment harassed by some random, menacing musclehead? The absurdity of this world is officially off the charts. Rain-soaked streets, and Chu Qing is panicking. 300 years of Taoist cultivation, but nothing prepared him for this modern dilemma. He just wants to vanish into the night, because in this twisted world, if his parents find out he spent the night with a girl, the fallout might be worse than a heavenly tribulation. The problem is far worse than imagined. A sinister purple curse has taken root within Chu Qing. It dissolves flesh, erodes the soul, and even his formidable sword, Saint Cultivation, can't eradicate it. But don't worry, folks. He's an Ice Guy protagonist. The solution from the immortal world is in his mind. Now he just needs to find a budget-friendly alternative in this upside-down reality. From darkness to daylight, the path is set. Check this out, everyone. Who just set the school basketball court on fire? Dang Jiang. A soaring dunk, a powerful landing, all in one fluid motion. This single moment sends the guys on the sidelines into orbit, clutching their faces in awe. This is Chu Qing's lover from a past life. And in this matriarchal world, she remains the undisputed genius who commands the spotlight. 1 second, it's a sweet flashback, a pink-haired girl amidst flowers and moonlight. The next second, reality throws a sucker punch. Chu Qing suddenly remembers. Oh no, in this world they are total strangers. The sheer awkwardness could carve out a mansion from concrete. But wait a minute, the gears of fate grind to a halt. When their eyes meet, the words slip out. Have I seen you before? The red thread of destiny, once severed, just tied itself into a brand new, complicated knot. And here we go again. The classic misunderstanding strikes. Chu Qing thinks she's talking about school, but Tang Xian immediately shuts that down. Awkward silence descends. But, pay attention to this, but Tang Xian makes the first move. Want to play basketball? I'll teach you. On the surface, it's a tutorial invite. In reality, it's a declaration, an attempt to break the ice between two souls that span lifetimes. A smile touches Chu Qing's lips. Some bonds, he realizes, not even a world flip can erase. On the basketball court, fate starts to turn. Tang Xian, the queen of the campus courts, snatches the ball with practiced ease. She throws down the gauntlet. If she wins, he becomes her boyfriend. If he wins, name the price. Chu Qing, a 300-year-old sword saint, just looks at the challenge with a faint, knowing smile. Bring it on. The competition begins, and the crowd goes wild. The girls on the sidelines are buzzing. Just getting to play against Tang Zian makes you the luckiest person in school. On the court, Zian is in her element, a killer crossover, leaving Chu Qing behind for an easy layup. The crowd erupts, but Chu Qing, he just watches her go, a thoughtful look on his face. That move, it sparks something. The atmosphere is electric. After scoring, Tang Zian's determination is absolute. She declares to Chu Qing, she won't play lightly because she has to win him. The sheer force of her will is palpable. As Chu Qing looks at this girl who shares his past lover's name and spirit, his heart stirs. Is this just a street game for a boyfriend title, or is it something else entirely? All right, we've hit the ad break. A quick thanks from a scanlation team and a call for translators. Let's jump right back into the action. New chapter, new round. Chu Qing stands on the court, a mysterious smile playing on his lips as he touches the back of his neck. The ball bounces rhythmically at his feet. He glances at Tang Zian and the eager crowd, uttering a simple challenge. Try again. This isn't just a game about a bet anymore. It's a clash of memories and fates, and it's officially on. This is what you call a massacre on the court. Reincarnated sword saint Chu Qing isn't just playing basketball. He's dismantling the pride of the court star, Tang Zian, with a ferocity this world has never seen from a man. The look on the male bystanders? Sheer disbelief. Counterattack initiated. Tang Zian's speed means nothing. Chu Qing explodes forward, so fast he becomes a blur, reclaiming all momentum in an instant. By the time the proud Zian reacts, he's already blown past her. The surrounding girls are in awe, totally reevaluating their preconceived notions of male potential. Game, set, match. A thunderous dunk that shakes the very rim declares the winner. Chu Qing hangs there for a moment, a silent king surveying his conquest. The undefeatable Tang Zian is forced to admit defeat with a choked "I lost." But this isn't an ending, it's a declaration. The rules of this court have been rewritten by the dragon's hand. The plot twist arrives. Can't beat him on the court, so ask him out? The proud Miss Tang Zian leans in, pinching Chu Qing's cheek, and pops the day question. The gender-bent world's logic finally clicks into place, sending the surrounding fangirls and fanboys into a frenzy of "they're so cute." But look at Chu Qing's face. Total, absolute bewilderment at this forward approach. And the reversal strikes. Just when you think it's a sweet moment, Tang Zian drops the bomb with a teasing smile. Want a date? Get stronger first. The bait-and switch is real. Chu Qing's initial shock swiftly morphs. The corner of his mouth lifts, his gaze sharpens, and the 300-year-old soul within awakens. Oh, he thinks, a predator's glint in his eye. When did this girl get so full of herself? Trying to use a challenge as bait? You just provoked a dragon. The real game is on. After saving Yi Chenxi and her mother, Chu Qing's pure yang energy skyrocketed 30%, and his spiritual body is rapidly taking form. It's like he unlocked a cheat code for his power. But before he could even catch his breath, the red-haired young mistress shows up, asking just how he'd like to be repaid for saving her life. That question reeks of more than just gratitude. Whoa, one innocent question about a reward sends our sword saint's brain into overdrive. His mind is instantly flooded with scenes that would never pass the censor, practically drooling. Finally snapping out of it, he's met with Yi Chenxi's knowing smirk. All Chu Qing can do is awkwardly smile and ask for time to think. Brothers, is the long-awaited moment finally upon us? How to repay a life saved? Yi Chenxi is playing a dangerous game. Last time she showed some serious sincerity, and now she's at it again. Just as Chu Qing is locked in a moral dilemma, she hits him with the ultimate offer. Want to see mine in exchange for joining our Discord? My God, she's trying to drag our pure-hearted sword saint into the deep end. Hold up, bros. What kind of shameless proposal is this? It's left our Chu Qing utterly stunned. That's playing dirty. His shocked expression says it all. But honestly, who wouldn't be thrown for a loop by a reward like that? All jokes aside, the mission continues. Under the night sky, Chu Qing reflects on his progress. Next time he fully heals Aunt Yi, he'll completely awaken his spiritual body. In this reversed world, his power is returning at an unprecedented rate. Suddenly, a sleek, understated purple sports car glides to a stop. The door opens, and a pair of long legs and golden heels step out. A woman of extraordinary presence has arrived. Who is she? Buckle up, drama's kicking off right from the opening scene. Everything was calm 1 second, and the next, the arrogant heiress Li Yue rolls up in her flashy purple car to confront Qing. Look at her outfit, leopard print robe and sunglasses, immediately asking if he's after the same person. Does she even know who she's messing with? Qing has the soul of a 300-year-old sword saint. Spit on him? Oh, you have no idea the trouble you've just stepped into. Dare to make a move now, huh? Li Yue's temper is as short as a fuse, trying to start a fight right on the crosswalk. But come on, this is Qing. In a flash, he's got her by the wrist, and she's screaming her head off while her two companions are just standing there, stunned. Calling for help now? Too late. Qing follows up with a devastating kick. That BM sound effect says it all, flattening the other guy instantly. Clean up on aisle 1. Match point. The once cocky Li Yue is now pinned to the wet pavement by Qing's knee. But she's not one to lose gracefully. Losing the fight? Time to trot out the family name. The Li family will get you for this. Tang Zian is marrying me. It's already decided. Ooh, buddy, did you just step on a live wire? Qing's expression goes ice cold. Threats? Bad. Using Zian as a bargaining chip? Worse. You squeal a lot. It really annoys me. And down comes his foot. See? In this topsy-turvy world, power is the only universally understood family background. 战后小气，问题却更大了。街头解决了麻烦，家里的麻烦才刚开始。看着李有为的威胁，楚清心里清楚，所谓的家族联姻背后水很深，他需要情报。就在这时，聊天窗口突然弹出，那个从一开始就盯上他的神秘富婆叶晨曦，直接打过来1万块钱，还轻飘飘一句留着用。楚清懵了，啥情况？是觉得我穷，还是这钱本身就是线索的入场券？看来这位叶大小姐的纠缠比她想象的更复杂，也更直接。Intel doesn't come for free. Qing reaches out to his lowly informant Shan Huahua, ready to spend Ms. Ye's donation. But the moment the call connects, the tone takes a wild U-turn. A date? To get laid? Well, I'm not cheap, huh? Huahua's opening salvo is a direct hit to Qing's stoic face, leaving the former sword saint flustered and threatening to track her down. The hilarious part? She just laughs and tells him to find his way to their Discord server first. LMAO, an immortal powerhouse stonewalled by a Discord invite. But jokes aside, this tells us one thing. The answer Qing is looking for are buried deep beneath the surface of this world. The real undercurrents are about to be exposed. From a sovereign of the immortal realm to a lone figure in a mundane bar. The fall from grace couldn't be steeper. Chu Qing clutches his drink, the call playing in his mind. A tip-off out of the blue, a woman asking for nothing in return. Every instinct screams, this isn't a lead, it's a trap waiting to spring. The mysterious informant is a pink-haired girl calling him Big Brother. Chu Qing's brain short-circuits. This world's weirdness knows no bounds. And this 23-year-old sister cuts right to the chase, probing his connection to Yi Chenxi. Looks like his troubles just doubled. Trying to gather intel on Tang Zian, and the informant turns interrogator. Is she your girlfriend? No. The denial feels hollow even to him. But she counters with a cheeky pinch. Then can I chase you? Cue the spit take. This is espionage? Feels more like emotional warfare. The intel arrives, painting a grim picture. The prestigious Tang family is a house of cards, saved only by a charitable marriage alliance with the Li family. The truth hits Chu Qing like a sledgehammer. Zian, all that brilliance on the court, masking this desperate struggle. Her silence wasn't indifference. It was protection. Alchemical families? Medicine dynasties? Chu Qing's immortal senses tingle. This could be the key to regaining his power. But before he can dig deeper, the pink-haired menace drops the bomb. Want details? Trade me your cute, tasty little brother. Chu Qing's composure shatters. Don't be a pervert. Intel has never come at such a high cost to his dignity. Just a second ago, the pink-haired girl descended like a dream, wrapping her arms around Chu Qing from behind. Golden sparkles were a built-in filter. Once you found me, what were you going to do? The suggestive question amped up the tension instantly. But then, cut. A sharp jump to Chu Qing's shocked face. The hamburger wallpaper pattern behind him seemed to mock him, while the cold sweat on his forehead betrayed his internal scream. I was about to make a move on what I thought was a grown woman, but turns out she's a freaking lowly. Karma's a real kicker, isn't it? Chu Qing? Fast forward, and our former sword saint Chu Qing is cramming to survive in this matriarchal world. Pill refining is the ultimate path to wealth and power here. The first method, using internal energy, is the Tang family specialty, dominant and traditional. But the other, more mysterious method is rumored to rely on something intangible, spiritual power. The moment those words hit him, Chu Qing's golden eyes narrow sharply. Spiritual power? That was a core concept throughout his 3 centuries of cultivation. Does that mean, in this backwards world, besides him, the ultimate outlier, there are others who wield the power of cultivation? Information is ridiculously expensive. Lolita info broker Chun Hua Hua cheerfully names a price that would make you wince, 100,000. But then, glancing at Chu Qing's face, she slashes it by 20%. A discount for a handsome face. Yep, good looks are the universal currency. But Chun Hua Hua has other plans. When Chu Qing presses for intel on medicinal ingredients and secret deals, she dodges with a coquettish smile amidst a flurry of pink bubbles. Go with me to dinner, and I'll tell you. Wait, is this business or a courtship? Later, as they walk side by side under the stars, the glare from the street food vendor says it all. Another pretty boy being spoiled by a rich woman. After a few drinks, the mood takes a sharp turn from comedy to heartbreak. Chun Hua Hua, bubbly just moments ago, dissolves into tears in Chu Qing's arms. Between sobs, she spills her secret crush, a senior who dumped her for being broke, and confesses she's a hopeless spendthrift. My paycheck never lasts. I could never afford a marriage. Just as the gloom threatens to drown everything, Chu Qing's hand suddenly, firmly, clasps hers. The change is electric. Hua Hua's heart jumps in her throat, her eyes wide. The stars in the background seem to pulse just for her. Blushing furiously, she dares to ask the question, voice trembling. So, do you like me? Well, this dinner just delivered more intel than any 100K yuan package ever could. Talk about a downgrade. A 300-year-old sword saint resurrected. And his first major task? Being a live-in maid and personal mover for a pink-haired lowly who passed out. This place, what a dump. But look at her, sleeping there all peaceful. Goo. Fine, onto the bed you go. Wait, why is my hand moving on its own? Full marks for this move. One moment you're babysitting a helpless lowly, the next you're getting indirectly invited to join her Discord. Look at that priceless, shocked face on our sword saint. She's doing this on purpose? This cute little thing is way smarter than she looks. She knows exactly how to get her hooks in. Even the toughest warrior crumbles before pure, emotional honesty. Look at Chu Qing, all that edge and power, completely disarmed by one simple, tearful plea. Please stay with me. Game over. All right, I'll stay. Watching her fall asleep, safe and content in his arms. Did our sword saint just feel a piece of that 300-year-old heart thaw? And those familiar faces on the wall, what threads of fate are they pulling? The cozy night is over. Time for reality to bite. Staring at the crisis report on the Tang family on his phone, Chu Qing's expression darkens. A sword saint in his past life. Now he needs to hustle for cash? Please. 300 years of experience wasted? You can't survive without money in any world. Luckily, I know exactly what's worth a fortune here. Days later, the target is set, the Shenzhen auction house. The sword saint's market disruption is about to begin. This, my friends, is called knowledge is power, and market disruption 101. While the martial artists in this world are sweating in their dojos, our man Chu Qing is manufacturing the ultimate commodity. In the immortal world, we have spirit stones. They boost cultivation, accelerate martial rhythm. Your world doesn't have them? Perfect. I'll make them. Forget digging for ore. I'll condense it from the very essence of heaven and earth. Holding that glowing crystal, he grins. Money? Starting today, it's just a number. Success. Yi Qingmei, the severely injured leader of the Yi family, is finally revived thanks to Chu Qing's transcending cultivation-based detox methods. That golden aura is bursting at the seams. 300 years of experience don't lie. The sheer euphoria of her restored power makes her vow. Just wait, I'll return the favor someday. The world now has another top-tier powerhouse indebted to our man Chu. The hero leaves his work done and dusted. After saving a major clan leader, Chu Qing's mind is already on the next move. Cultivate as much as I can, right now. Look at that silhouette against the sunset. Pure main character energy before the training montage kicks in. Wait, who's calling out? Oh, this is about to take a turn. And here we go. Who could resist this? Lady Yi Chenxi, making a direct move. A sudden thank you kiss, and our 300-year-old cultivation prodigy is completely thrown off. This is a little present, she says. What kind of world even is this? Is this how gratitude works in a female-dominated society? Look at Chu Qing blushing. Where's the famed sword saint composure now? Being kissed by a girl like that isn't bad at all. Oh, Chu, you're done for, my man. You've fallen. So, the flutter from that kiss got channeled right into cultivation energy. Cut to our boy power leveling in his room. Deep in meditation, he reconnects with his old companion, the sword that's been with him for a century. A flash of light, and a legendary blade is back in the game. More importantly, Chu Qing has an epiphany. This sword, this world, they're connected. The key piece of the puzzle has finally surfaced. The big one is here. This isn't just training, it's a full-scale system reboot. Chu Qing isn't grinding. He's undergoing spiritual body revival, ascending on the spot. Farewell, weak body. The old flesh shatters. An immense power erupts skyward. When he emerges from this cocoon of evolution, that smile screams pure, unadulterated confidence. The true prowess of the former sword saint is officially back in the game. The king has returned to this upside-down world. Boom! Just look at this explosive composition and the figure standing at the epicenter of golden energy, radiating authority. You don't need to guess. It's Yi Chenxi, the young mistress of the Yi family. She always knows how to command the spotlight. These blinding beams aren't just special effects. They're a declaration of her power and a warning shot for the escalating drama. Remember this moment? It's how she stakes her claim.